record. It'd be good to forget that. But with this day, we're going to spend 30 minutes just explaining how to create content. And we're going to get through as much content batching as you can. I'm going to show you guys how I do that. And it's actually a pretty quick process if you have the time. But I put my bag clothes, I'm not sure if you can see them, but I put them in bags next to my computer. I just have my hair done. I have a hair tie because I just got my hair. So it's like a little different with the styling. I've got some bobby pins. So that's what I typically do. And then I'll show you guys my protocol for that. So also, I hope everyone had a really happy holiday. It's so good to see all of you. So we're going to be doing the copy workshop next week. We'll talk about what you're actually writing for these posts. But when you content batch, it's typically what I do monthly. And that's what we're going to be talking through mostly today. Then we're going to talk about weekly, like we're going to talk about creating content on the next week's call. Then we're going to do daily how to upload your posts and how to diversify your feed. So typically, when you are doing your marketing, what you want to do is you want to create a plan that has like just an overarching plan. Now, as I was driving in the car this past weekend, I just started having ideas flowing through my mind. And it was awesome because I was like just writing them down. I was like at stoplights, I would just be like, oh, this would be fun to talk about. And I would just like write it down. And you'll have moments of brilliance like that. Sometimes you'll just be feeling on fire and ready to create content, and it'll just be flowing very naturally. However, life is 50-50 for the most. I subscribe to that idea. And there are going to be times when you're feeling really on fire. And then there are going to be other times when you're like, I have no idea. Like, I don't even know what to say. I'm just feeling very overwhelmed right now. And by having a plan in place, instead of creating content from when you're feeling inspired, you're going to create content from just having ideas already there. And so it's just going to be in place already. And I want you guys to experience that already. So what I like to do is I like to create protocols and systems, obviously, because you know that's my thing. And so I've got a monthly protocol that I do every month. And that's what we're going to be doing today is just creating overarching topics and content batching. Then weekly, I put content batch on there, but that is actually copy batch. So it's a different way to say it, but that's going to be copy batching. And then daily, I have a sequence that I post. And especially because I have ADHD, it really helps me to have a procedure. And I like there's so many ways that I can get super distracted. Like I will be like looking through audio and I'll be like, oh, what is that audio? And oh, that's a reel. And oh my gosh, your shirt's so cute. And then oh my gosh, now I have an ad and I'm clicking on the ad. And it's like if you have a procedure in place, it really helps to prevent any of the like middleman in there. And so what I have on here is this thing called minimum baseline. And when we think about your minimum baseline, that is the least amount that you can post weekly to meet your goals. Now, we've been talking a lot about outreach and how that really is, in my opinion, the bread and butter of coaching businesses, meeting people, building relationships. And I was thinking about it this morning. And I think that what I've realized is that like marketing and really excellent copy is a skill that you're developing right now. But that doesn't necessarily, I've had three, I think, and actually I was talking to one of my clients and she was like, wait, I came from copy because it was a referral. And I was like, oh, I guess technically. So not two, but three of my clients have come from my actual marketing. The rest of my clients, all 52 of them have come from relationships. So what I think happens is when you're into that, like your business is in that like 0 to 7,500K phase, the bulk of your people are going to come from relationship building. Then I think when you get a little bit past that, then your marketing is really going to come into play. So what I like to say is the marketing is great, but just the least amount you can post so that you can meet your goals. So the way that we are obviously doing this is you're going to use the 4 main topics to create that consistency for your audience. So we are going to have your core pillars. And again, it doesn't have to be 4. Some of you guys might have 5, but you're going to use your core pillars to market. Now, for us, what I want you to do is, because you are doing a webinar, if you choose to do a webinar in this round, but I'm just going to speak like everyone's doing a webinar. What I like to do is I like to plan my content, and then I like to seed my webinar the week before. So this was a webinar that was all about, I believe when I did this, it was about your 10-year plan. It was about how to make your 10-year plan. So you can see the week prior, I seeded the webinar the entire week. So I was like, webinar, 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 webinar. And then the week of, I was like, webinar, webinar, webinar. We're talking about the webinar every single day before I actually did it. Now, this was back when I did 5 posts a week. Your minimum baseline can always be more. I would suggest around 3, but I think that sticking to seeding that webinar before you actually start to talk about your webinar with your people is really, really helpful. Now, here's why I like to do 3 posts a week. If you think about your Instagram news feed, which is the primary use, what we're going to be talking about primarily for marketing currently, is you have like 9 pictures that are in your feed. So when you go onto someone's Instagram, there are pictures of like your feed that show up immediately. That's the only thing that we really need. Like if you want to look at my page, we've got the very clear heading. We've got that. You've got your reels, and then you've got like 9 or so pictures that people see. The reason why I think that 3 is really helpful is that it fills out all of those like spaces. So you've got the 3 that you pin to the top, which are your program, a Canva explaining your program, a video about your program, and then your freebie. And then you have your just 6 regular pieces of content that are here. Now, when we post, we'll be talking about how I like to do things is I like to do, when I say I do 3 posts a week, it's 1 static with Canva and a reel. And I consider that 1 post because I use the copy from it for the reel. I use the exact same copy for the post. It's just a copy paste. Maybe I'll take out a couple words here and there, but you want to work smarter, not harder. And so you want to spend your mental effort writing 3 things a week, but it will end up filling up the whole feed. Okay. So the reason why it's also important to seed your webinar the week before is where it says the 5K in 5 months challenge. This week, I'm actually, oh, here you go. Can you guys see that?
And it's too small.
Okay, here we go. I'm just going to stop sharing real quick.
Yeah.
So, and if you can always pin me to your screen, but where it says 5K in 5 months, I'm actually going to change that to the webinar this week. So I'm doing my webinar on making your annual plan on January 4th. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that down and I'm going to change that for these next 2 weeks. And then you can go back and repin an old post and you can pin that as well. So that's what it says up here. Pin the week prior instead of the Facebook freebie, or whatever freebie you are doing if you don't have a Facebook group. Now, today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing a content match. Now, I've had a lot of you guys like messaging me like, how do you get all of your content done for the entire month? It's actually not that hard. And you're going to see that. I would say that it takes 30 minutes to an hour for the whole month, getting all of my content done for the whole month, which is like awesome. And when I say content, that means just the reels. And like I said previously over here, the monthly is just creating the topics in your content calendar. You're going to write the ideas for your posts. And then when I say a content batch for the entire month, I have all of my ideas, all of my audio, all of my videos are all done in one day, kind of in 30 minutes. Then weekly, what I do is that's what we're doing next week, where we're actually writing the words and correlating the graphics. What you can do, and this is what I do on Fridays, I prep my reel with the audio. So I get it all ready to go and it'll be saved in my drafts. And I'll stop sharing for just a moment. So today, all we're doing is you're going to be writing the headlines, choosing your audio, and recording a quick reel video for your upcoming month. And then you can save them as drafts. So and if you can't see me, if you click in the top right corner, there are 3 dots and you can actually click pin and you can like make me big. But it's like all of my reels and things like that, they're all on there. And all I have to do is just click upload. It's pretty great. So that's what we're going to be doing today. We're just getting the headlines and we're getting the audio and all of that ready. And then next week, we're going to talk about how to actually write the stuff that goes underneath it, because it's a different skill. And then you're going to get some practice next week in the weeks upcoming, where you're going to be posting your picture, adding hashtags. I like to add hashtags to the top of your pre-written caption and location, and that also just tag yourself in them. And you're going to upload your videos to Reels. You're going to add your caption, heading, and trending audio. And then you're going to post your videos to your stories. But again, the purpose of marketing is to get results. You want to bring in leads about what your company is purchasing. And the purpose of marketing for you all currently is not necessarily to get people to buy instantly. It's to build more of that know, like, and trust. So that's what we're kind of like building a brand for you. They just want to see what you're kind of all about, but people aren't going to like come to your page and be instantly buying at this stage right now, most likely. Not your views or your clicks. So when you look, a lot of us like, and I was talking with someone and they were like, well, I only get like 2 likes on my Instagram post, or I only get like 1 like on Facebook or things like that. And y'all, even on Facebook, I've hit 6 figures, doing all right. I've got a group, like things are going really well in my business. And I still have 2 likes on Facebook. It is not about the number of clicks. It is not about the views. It is not about your likes. That is a waste, in my opinion. It's not a great use of your time to be fixating on the number of likes. A great use of your time would be to talk to people, bring in more people. And that is, the marketing is just kind of like icing on the cake of an already amazing business. And then it's just going to keep getting better from there. Oh my goodness. I think that my dog stole like the whole branch of the Christmas tree. I'm like, that is a large stick. And I'm like, how did you get that? It's a Christmas tree. So the other thing that we've been talking a little bit about when you're talking about outreach, same kind of deal. You are going to diversify your post just like you diversify with outreach. So with your cold leads, those are people that just need to get to know you. They want to see what you're all about. This is where you could be posting about your philosophy. And I was thinking about it also this morning. These are the things where you could just like have like a rant. Like you could be like, I just want to tell you what I'm thinking about this. And it was like, I've gone from like, I'm not competing, I'm creating. And I was like, that sounded really good in my brain until I just said it out loud to you guys right now. But that's like, that was a driving thought. I'll make it finessed, but that doesn't necessarily have to do with my 4 topics necessarily. I could probably make it work, but like that's where those cold lead posts come in, where it's just kind of like, hey, this is what I am. This is what I'm all about. And I think that a lot about your cold leads is what you're going to be doing. Hey, I don't like it when you do that. Can you please stop? Thank you. So speaking to dogs, not you guys, obviously, but when you are doing those posts and things like that, I think another thing that's great for your cold leads to get to know you is posting just like your regular everyday on your stories. Like being like, hey, this is what I'm having for lunch. Hey, this is my family. This is what I did this weekend. That's another great way to bring in those cold leads. But during those posts, it's a great thing to talk about, like, okay, here's why teaching is important to me specifically. People who are coming to me now, they didn't know that I was a teacher for 6 years. They don't know that I'm nationally board certified. Like there's a lot of stuff there, So that's what I want to be doing in the cold post. With the warm posts, that's where I'm like, hey, here's a way that you can break down your topics to actually teach a topic. That's where I'm going to be nurturing current clients and building intrigue about becoming a client. They're like, oh, that is a good tip right there. Oh, this is like something I can use right away. This is what most of us are really, really good at as coaches. We give a lot of warm content. We're like, this is where you give a tool, some kind of how to, reasons why and why not. And I'm going to give you guys sentence starters so that you can keep that in mind. The next thing is going to be the hot leads, which is going to compel them to take the action to purchase. And so that is going to be your testimonials. And that's why I said to come with like 5 testimonials. Or 4 testimonials, if you don't have testimonials right now, that's totally fine. That's not going to be the purpose of today is to get these cold and warm posts done for the next month. And then they're obviously going to be going through the purchase process, which we've already created with your sales pages. So what I like to do is, and I'll show you what I do in a second, but you're going to see that I put 10 to 15 hashtags that are very general for each static post. So for cold, it's like coaching business, get like life coach, the life coach school, like anything that like people might look up, very general. For my warm leads, I'll have things like how to, tutorial, training, like that'll be more like about like running a business, or that's a bad hashtag, but like it'll be more like related to that. And then for hot leads, it's like client results, things like that. And I have like 10 to 15 hashtags just at the chilling at the top of my document. And then I do 5 unique hashtags for each reel. So I just like make it like a little bit different for those. I had something else to say here, and it will come to me in just a minute. I'm like, there was something very important about this, and I wanted to give us a little extra time to content batch. But yeah, so I'm just going to show you how I do that. So what we want to do first is you want to choose the order of your weekly pillars. Step 2, and I could just make this like a second step. Write headlines for all of the 8 cold, warm. You can choose who's doing the testimonials later. That'll be more so for next week. And that's something that's kind of self-explanatory that I'm like, you guys can probably do the testimonials on your own. It's literally just like copying and pasting what people said in their testimonial form and or using talk to type from their video. And then I would love for us to just like choose the audio and then get your 8 videos done for the month. So I would say that like choose audio, get 8 videos done for the month. So you're just like getting it all done today. So here's what that kind of looks like. I'm just moving that down so this actually is on the page. When I am content batching, and that's different than copy batching, which we'll do next week, I have my entire plan here. And you guys are going to get something that looks very similar to this. But I have my pillar, I have the date, and I like to include the actual number so I remember. And then I like to say whether it's what kind of Insta post it is. Mine says personal story, training, results share. You guys just say cold, hot, warm, hot. And I did it like with colors so you guys could see. And then I chose these topics: delivery, manage, mindset, and I bolded out my webinar. So it's this week. And then I have marketing, selling, teach. And then I wanted to remind myself that I'm at 200K here. And so this is what I did last month. And for today, I've got a little bit more time. But what I like to do is, instead of like creating the wheel, I just take this and I duplicate it for the next week. And I like to put the months at the bottom. So you can see over here, got the months. Then I like to think about a topic. So I was like, okay, I can talk about money back guarantee. I could talk about tracking intangibles and do my chart from the mastermind. And then I had Stephanie for last week. And then I haven't done these videos for this week yet. Full disclosure, That's what I'm doing right now. And then for next week, all of these things I haven't actually done. These are just ideas that I had. Now, of course, when you're about to do this, you're going to have really like ideas that you might not love. You're going to be like, well, this doesn't make any sense. And maybe I want to change this reel. And that's okay. What I did here is I just wrote all of my topics out. And then I just wrote other ideas that I have here, like on the side. And so that's why when I do the duplicate and copy and paste, I'm like, okay, yes, this is a B minus, not perfect post maybe for this week, but it's done and it's ready. And it's like, at least it's out there. And then next month, I will do this other really cool idea. The only time I really change the topics that I put here when I do my content batching are if either A, something doesn't make any sense at all, or I think of something that's really, 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 really great. The next thing that I do is I'm like, okay, if I'm like, I don't know, when I was talking about like with my mindset and planning, and I said I didn't know what to do with big projects. Now I put them on my calendar. What I'll do, and so I just like write ideas like down here. It's like there's no right way to run a business. I'm opening up to the 50-50. And then it's like, okay, I'm able to bring the same piece that you bring to your clients. Like these are all ideas that I have. So I'll write just like a little thing that doesn't make sense to probably anybody else but me at all. It's like you're just gonna write down an idea and it'll be like, no one coming to a webinar, not strategically planning my marketing. Now I market 2 weeks in advance to make it correlate. That makes sense to you guys probably, but it's like, just like, that's what I know I'm going to write my post about when it's time for my weekly batching, my copy batching. But I'm just like, okay, I have to come up with some sort of reel that relates to this heading. So the first thing that you do is you choose the pillars. So I chose my pillars based on the date. I did the dates first. It was pillars and dates is step 1. Then you do, because you're going to need to know the date of your webinar. And then you're going to choose the headings. So that's when you're going to be like, okay, here are the headings, just like a little thing that is like money back guarantee. I'm like, oh, okay, I know how to talk about that. Tracking intangibles. Okay, I know how to talk about that. And then I just start making videos. And I'm like, okay, what audio would make sense for like, I didn't know what to do with big projects. And I put them on my calendar. That's when I go onto Instagram. And that's why I did the video of that I sent you guys about how to save audio. So when you save your audio, it'll be when you go to your Instagram page, you'll click here. And then you'll go to saved, which is, sorry, it's just hard to type. And then you'll go to audio. And all these are trending audios that I've saved. Oh no, why did I freeze? Wow, weird. But all these are trending audios that I've saved. So these are all just like literally like sounds that I saw that up arrow. The up arrow means that it's trending, as you guys can see. You see that little tiny up arrow? And then I'll listen to the audios and I'll be like, okay, put projects on the calendar. I'm like, what could make sense? What audio did I save that could make sense with that? So I'm like, he's the one I'm leaving for. And it's like, maybe not.
Things keep changing very fast and not in ways that I think are great. And I would like for it to stop. I'm very tired.
Okay, so that one, I'm like, okay, that's an audio I could use and be like, okay, when things change really quickly, instead of just stopping, put it on your calendar. And I would maybe like do a video. And if you click on the audio,
keep changing.
You click use audio. And then it's me. Hi. And so then and I think all of us are kind of familiar with reels, but if you've never made a reel before, then when you hold down the reel, you can be like,
things keep changing very fast and not in ways that I think are great. And I would like for it to stop. I'm very tired.
And so then I'll like just do something like that. It's done.
And not in ways that I think are great. And I would like for it to stop. I'm very tired.
So if you can like use your voice along with it, or you could just have the audio and be like, do you feel like this? Okay, if you feel like this, then I can help you. Like, and just like write words on there that can go along with it. But like just having that down is really helpful. So like listen to those, and I don't actually make the video when I have the audio. I'm just like, oh, I'm going to use this audio and it's going to be great. So I'll share my screen once more. And so I'll be like, okay, that one I think works. I don't know what to do with big projects. I'll put them on my calendar. And it says original audio Hank Green. Do you guys see that? Like here, that tiny, sorry. Stop sharing for just a second. But do you see where it says like original audio Hank? And like it actually like says the name of the person there. So it's like original audio, whoever the person is. Just so I remember, I'll write that down in my marketing calendar. I'll be like, this is the guy whose audio I used. And I'll have the reel made and I'll say original audio Hank Green. And then I'll say green turtleneck. And the reason why you do this, it's fun fact. If you update your app, if you delete your app for any reason, if your Instagram gets hacked and you have to log in and out, all of those lovely reels that you have saved, guess what? They disappear. All the drafts, they go away. So what you really want to do, because this has happened to me multiple times, is after you record that reel, after you have it as a draft, if you click here, this is very, very important. You click edit, or that probably won't, but it's like for this one, you'll hit edit. And then you'll click save. And it'll say save without, y'all can't see it. I'm sorry. I know. I'm sorry. Today's a lot of like how-tos, but you're going to click save without audio right here. And then you'll just have like a whole slew of the videos that you record today. So it's going to be pretty simple. You're not actually writing any copy today. All we're doing is you're going to take your content, write the pillars down, write the numbers down, headlines, audio, video. So that's all content batching is. In my definition of it, people have different definitions, but for my definition, content batching is getting all the videos done for the month. And then weekly, you actually write the copy and you do copy batching. So within your thing, it'll say here, it says marketing documents. Here is your own marketing calendar. And then you'll have different documents that say cold, warm, and hot. So you'll get one that looks like this, and it'll say cold. And this is like the sentence starters here. Share how it's changed your life, why these topics matter. Warm. It'll say this here. And hot. Now, what I like to do, and I shared this with you guys as I made a little YouTube video, I like to link this cold document to my marketing calendar. So I explain how to do that. All you do is like for my results share, which is essentially my hot, I do share. Anyone who views this is an editor. And then within my marketing calendar, I put it under results share, and then link, and then the text says this, and then the words, this is the document. Okay. Are there any, and I actually just did a quick video for you guys for that too, just how to link a document in there. The last thing is, here are my hashtags. So let's put it at the top. Are there any questions? Nobody. It was like, hold on, let me see if
I
there's
have a question.
Yes. What is sorry, for some reason this is, yeah. Yes, exactly. Yes, Amber. Save them. Where do you record if you do it in different platforms? Record it on the camera. Yes. Go ahead, Dorit. What was your question?
When you're seeding your webinar, what does that mean? Are you doing posts talking about
The webinar, the upcoming week.
just saying, I have a webinar coming up. This is what it's about, blah, blah, blah.
Yes.
Click
great.
the link. Okay.
And that's what I'm doing this week. It's all about mindset or it's all about managing your business. And because I chose a webinar about my annual plan, it's about how they're managing their time. So
Okay.
that's all about this week is going to be all about you use your annual plan to manage your time. This is what my webinar is about. And I'm going to do canvas that say join webinar upcoming this upcoming week, July, January 4th at 7 p.m. Eastern. And that's going to be all my canvas for this upcoming week. And I wanted to do it like a week before you guys, so you could see an example of mine if you want to follow along with me. And then next week is all about planning. So I've picked 2 topics. This is a great question. I picked 2 topics that were linked closely to the topic of my webinar.
Okay.
So the one before is like the most closely linked about managing my time. Well, they're both, honestly. For this one, but like sometimes I'll do one, like I'm going to be doing like one about how to do a webinar. That's all about teaching. That's what I'm going to be doing in February. So I'm going to do the webinar about how to do a webinar. So it's going to be a fun one, but that's pretty much all about teaching. So I would make that heavy the week before so that anyone who comes to my page sees the main topic of the webinar. And then the week of, I would choose another topic. So I would choose something like, since it's about how to do a webinar, I would maybe do about like planning your launches around a webinar or marketing, because they're both kind of linked.
Okay.
That's a great question.
Thank you.
So I guess it's choose 2 topics that are closely linked. Week before is the most closely linked. The week of is like link adjacent. Good question. Anybody else? Are you guys ready to try some content batching? Let's give it a shot.